everyone. I'm Deepak. I'm a second year CSU student in VIT Chennai. Today, I'm going to talk about the applications of context-free grammar in speech recognition. Before getting the topic, do you guys know what the CFG means? It is a notation used to specify the context of the language. Context-free grammar is used to design for parser. So, to specify the construction of the language, a suitable notation which is used and precise and easy to understand. The notation is context-free grammar. Context-free grammar is a formal grammar which is used to generate all possible strings in the given formal language. Context-free grammar G is represented as G can be defined for four tuples. G is represented as V, T, P, S as shown in the slides. Now what does VTPS means? T describes as the finest set of terminal symbols. V describes as the finest set of non-terminal symbols. S describes as the start symbol. In the CFG, start symbol is used to derive the string. You can derive the string by repeatedly replacing the non-terminal by the right hand of the side of the production until the non-terminals have been replaced with the terminal symbol. Okay. Like where does this CFG come from? The Chomsky hierarchy is the important cognitive science because the complexity of an grammar is the hierarchy that can be used to evaluate in this given science. In these forms, we use the type 2 grammar, that is contextual grammar. Now, like what is type 2, what is type 3? We'll get to know about it. According to Chomsky hierarchy, grammar is divided into four parts. Type 0, type 1, type 2, type 3. Now, what is type 0 is known as unrestricted grammar. Type 1 is known as context-free grammar. Type 2 is known as context-free grammar. Type 3 is known as regular grammar. What is type 0? That is unrestricted grammar. Type 0 grammar includes all formal grammars. Type 0 grammar languages are recognized by Turing machines. These languages are also known as recursive enumerable languages. Type 1 languages, that is context sensitive grammars, that I have shown in the photo here. Type 1 grammars generate context sensitive languages. The language generated by the grammar, which is recognized by the linear bound automata. Type 2, that is CFG, which we are learning about the applications and all everything right now. It is the language generated by the grammar, which is recognized by push-down automata. In type 2, first of all, it should be a type 1, and that is context-sensitive grammar. Productions can also have one variable, and there is no restriction on. Now, what is type 3? Type 3 is known as regular grammar. Type 3 grammars regularly generate the languages. These languages that can be accepted by final state are automated. Type 3 is the most restricted form of grammar. Now, there are many variations of CFG. Many applications are present like CFG parsing for high-speed network application, data processing, natural language processing, human activities recognition, neural networks, and many more applications of CFG are there. In which now we are going to talk about the CFG application in speech recognition. Now, before getting the topic, do you know what the speech recognition means? Let's take a brief about that. Speech recognition, also known as an automatic speech recognition (ASR), computer speech recognition or speech to text, which is a capability which enables a program to process human speech into written format. While it's commonly confused with voice recognition, speech recognition focuses on the translation of a speech from verbal languages to emotional languages as the most natural communication modulate for humans. The ultimate dream of speech recognition is to enable the communicate more naturally and effectively. Many speech recognition applications and devices are available, but the more advanced solutions use AI and machine learning. They integrate grammar like context-free grammar, syntax, structure, and composition of audio and voices signals to process the evaluation responses with each interaction. Now, let's talk about the application of CFG in speech recognition. The presentation includes a context-free grammar, CFG, which communicates through an exposed interface with a speech recognition engine. The context-free grammar engine, in one illustrate, embodiment, handles the loading and unloading, as well as the main thing, as well as the discarding. Now here, as you can see, processing unit is moved into non-removable, non-memorable. It is also moved into removable, non-memorable. And for example, the CFG engine represents all loaded grammars and their corresponding activation states as a singular grammar to the speech recognition state. In the past, applications which invoked speech recognition communicated directly with the intents because the intents from each vendor interacted with applications directly. The behavior of that interaction was unpredictable and inconsistent. This made it virtually impossible to change the recognition. It is believed that because of these difficulties, speech recognition technologies are not again widely accepted. The present invention includes a context-free grammar, which communicates well in intents. So these are all the points that I have told you about like where does this CFG engine used in a speech recognition system. As you can see, speech recognition, it sounds the analysis and it uses a recognition decoder and it forms entire text. And many speech dictionaries are also there. And these speech recognitions are also used for medical, finance, and proceeding. It's a simple process. It only uses CFG here. Now, what is the background of the invention? Why did speech recognition introduced at first? The presentation deals with the speech recognition systems. In particular, the presentation invention relates to a context-free grammar engine for the use of in speech recognition systems. In speech recognition system, a computer attempts to identify a sequence of words from a speech signal. One way to improve the accuracy is the recognition to limit the set of selected phrases. This is typically done by limited value of hypothetical to phrase that are found in context-free grammar. The process of making speech recognition more widely available has encountered other obstacles. Application programs and engines can be complex. Event notification, parameter validation, default configuration, and many others. Conventional operating systems provide essentially no assistance to either applications, vendors, to either or beyond basic access to audio devices, etc., and many more, with a great deal of the code interface with one another. And this is how like a speech recognition works. First, an analog signal is sent, and it just signals the level, and it classifies the sounds of different sounds. And deep learning is used in acoustic classification. And then combining the sounds into words, combining the words into sentences is known as the language level, and then it transcribes the given analog signal. Now, application of CFG can also be used in sonic systems. Now, what is the speech recognition? Speech recognition software and how widely is this speech recognition used? The speech recognition software breaks the speech down into bits. It can interpret, convert into digital format and analyze the pieces of content. As you can see, speech recognition is done into three parts. It can be done into three approaches. That is, plastic Phoenix approach, pattern recognition approach, AI approach. In pattern approach, there are again a single method that is model-based approach, and from there two approaches that is template-based and HYM, SYM, DTW. Those all we'll be able to learn in the next upcoming languages. Now, when it makes the determinants based on previous data and common speeches patterns making, in hypothesis, what about the user after determining? Let's take not the taker response. Now, the challenges of accurate speech recognition technology, like how accurate the speech recognition works and all. Let's take an example. Like for suppose if you're driving around and make a voice request to call your friend Justin, but the just software misunderstanding. Instead, it starts blasting Justin Bieber's latest influential catchy song. As you hurried attempted to change the song, you are obviously not in prime conditional to watch the road. Speech recognition is just about helping you to answer a trivia question, but also making your life easier. Now, application of CFG can also be used in phonics systems. Similar methods of speech recognition used in phonics systems. Now, just take a look into it. The objective is to build a system that can simplify the creation of complex musical generation by allowing users to different CFG and look at the grammar interface which is produced by understanding grammar from examples. Grammar inference has been successfully applied to many speeches, robotics. The topics which will be by using the system's complex definitions which can be created by different productions and all. The intent operation is to create a system defining CFTs and using random productions. In addition, study and creating CFD system terminals into non-terminals using random predictions to expand like a high-level non-terminals, which is essentially the same thing. After then, a series of terminals can be processed to produce a complicate definitions as a series of predictions, each of which matches symbols to one or more. Now, in all, like from the all the slides, what we come across, like what's the summary of all this? CFG are used in various ways and they can be used in many applications. The present invention of CFG can also be used in interface with speech recognition engine. This CFG engine which is used in speech recognition system can also be used in many ways. It can be used in computers, it can be used in hospitals, it can be used in phones. It makes us life easier and makes the complex system into a easy process. So that's all about speech recognition. And many phones, laptops, computers use this voice recognition to make a work easy and simple. The present invention includes a context-free grammar engine, which communicates to an exposed interface, which is speech recognition system. The CFG engine represents all loaded grammars and their corresponding activates as a single grammar, single engine. So, like, if we use this speech recognition system, we are going to need a CFG engine, which is the basic application of the speech recognition system. And I hope all you understand how CFG is used in speech recognition system.